Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be reviewing the Sigma Mrs. Bunny Essential Brush Kit. This is the full-size kit. Looks like this. Now it comes in a cup holder which locks down. The cup holder looks like this and it locks on either side. If you get the Mr. Bunny brush set, it'll be a black cup holder. If you get the Mrs. Bunny, it's going to be a blue cup holder. And you can use these to store, I don't know, your eye brushes in one cup, your face brushes in another cup, or your dirty versus your clean, however you like to do it. Or you can just store it like that, lock it down for travel. Now, I purchased the Mrs. Bunny set because I didn't want these brushes to look exactly like my MAC brushes. If you'd like to get the more slightly sleek set, that would be the Mr. Bunny, which seems to be the only one left available online. So this is not going to be a review in regards to color, it's going to be a review in regards to the actual make and how these brushes work because they are the same. So I'm going to get started with the brush I would use first, and this is the Sigma foundation brush in F60. Now this brush is very similar to the MAC 190, and it's a flat, thin brush, and it has a brush guard that goes over it like this for safekeeping. This brush pats your foundation on very evenly. I don't typically use flat paddle foundation brushes to do this, but I do like the opaque coverage and the doll-like esque skin these flat brushes give. I'm typically a dual fiber girl when it comes to these types of foundation brushes, but I really do like this brush. Next brush in this set is the Sigma F70. The next brush in this set is the concealer brush, which is the face brush, and all the face brushes are labeled with an F, so you know that they are idealistically used for the face. And the concealer brush is F70, looks like this, and it's very small, very thin, very flat. Looks very similar to the MAC 242. I'm not saying this because I'm not trying to say that Sigma is trying to copy MAC exactly, but every brand has brush shapes that are very similar to MAC. So this is the 242, and it just pats underneath the eye very easily, right on top of blemishes, so you can pat on your concealer or put on a more heavy hand of foundation on troubled areas. I'm sorry, those are the dogs in the background, so I'm going to try to get rid of that noise as much as possible, but anyways, this is the Sigma F70. Next brush in this set is the Sigma Large Powder Brush F30. It looks like this, and it's a large, fluffy powdered brush. Has a brush guard. The Sigma F30 is a particular style of brush I kind of gave up when I switched my brushes to synthetic brushes. This is not typically a shape that you would see in a synthetic brush type. I love it. It actually, you would think that it would give your powder or face powder a very heavy hand, but it's actually very ideal for finishing powder. It gives it a very smooth airbrushed finish, and it's just squeezed just enough. It's bent in right here at the ferrule that kind of gives it sort of a sausage shape, so you can get in at the angles of the face very easily. So I really do like the Sigma F30, and in case you're wondering, these ferrules are super sturdy. You can't get the brush head out of that very easily if you try it. Unlike the EcoTools brushes, which are definitely more inexpensive, since you can find them at the drugstore. Of course, they're going to be a little bit more cheaply made. These are very, very well made brushes. Next brush is the Sigma Dual Fiber F50. The Sigma Dual Fiber F50 is a staple brush of mine. You can use this for powder, highlighting, bronzer. You could use it for foundation. A lot of people like to use these types of brushes for MAC Studio Sculpt, where you go like this, pounce it on. This is very similar to the MAC 187, which is a slightly larger dual fiber sold at MAC. I don't like the MAC 187 for foundation. I prefer it for powder. I like to use this particular brush for very pigmented blushes like the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes, because the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes come in very bright colors, and so it works very well to sort of tap this on to give that really pigmented blush a slightly lighter, more airbrushed look, so you can get that sort of pop of brightness without it looking too heavy. Next brush is the Sigma F40 Contour. This is an angled contour brush. It's very similar to the MAC 186. You can actually use this brush for foundation as well as contour and blush. I have used this particular brush shape for foundation in the past. It works really well. Not my favorite for blush because it's a little harsh, at least with my cheekbone structure, but I do like it for contouring. It does go right into the face shape very beautifully, and a little bit of highlight as well. The Sigma F40 is a very soft, very lightweight little brush. It's more pinched in than the MAC 186, so it's not going to fray out and splay out as much, which is nice because I've noticed that some people, when they're drying their MAC 187, you'll notice that it goes like that. You have to be very precise when drying it. This one's a little bit more forgiving, and once again, it's very sturdy. Next brush is moving on to the eyes, and this is the Sigma Large Shader E60. The E60 works well to pack color all over the lid really quickly, and it's very similar to the MAC 252. So this will just give you a nice wash of color. You can also use it to pat on the eyelid, pop it in the crease, a little bit of highlight, concealer as well. And because these are all synthetic brushes, they're multi-purposeful, so you can use them for cream or powder and it won't break down the brush hairs. Next paddle eye brush is the Sigma E55. The E55 reminds me of the MAC 227. It's just kind of flat and thin and flattened, got like that ovular shape cut right here, so you can pack it underneath the arch of the eyebrow and it'll be a good eraser. You could turn it on its side and use it in the inner tear duct, which I frequently do in videos. All over the eye, a little bit of highlight, even a sharp contour. So that's why I kind of consider it a more smudger type version because it's shorter of the MAC 227. This is the E55. Very sturdy, buttery, soft, and once again, you can use it for cream or powder. Okay, so the next brush is the Sigma E40. The Sigma E40 is a tapered blending brush. It's very similar to the MAC 224. The MAC 224 is this large, fluffier, more splayed brush, and the MAC 222 is very slender and very thin. So this particular brush is going to get into the crease very well, blend it out very easily. I just knocked my lips, that's not good. And you can, once again, use this for like anything similar to prime pots, paint pots, cream shadows, and get a nice even blend. Use it as a highlight, face highlight. It'll be weird for a lip brush, but you can do what you want. And you can even use it as concealer. Under the eyes for a highlighting concealer, it's up to you. So I really like this brush a lot. This is a go-to. I love all blending brushes, of course, and it's really hard to find a good synthetic one. So I really like that brush. Next brush is the Sigma E70. And this brush is very similar to the MAC 272 or 275. This is a little larger than both those brushes though, and a little thicker. So it actually, because of that, allows a little bit more of an even blend. You don't need to take this color and then take a blender to blend it out. It's not going to give you a harsh line in your crease. Typically, it won't. An angled brush is a good essential eye brush for putting color on and then blending it out. I would say this is a very good basic starter brush. It comes in most starter kits, these angled brushes. I tend to forget about angled brushes once again because they're meant for control, and I have a tendency to go for more of a larger blending brush. I don't know if it has anything to do with my eye or face shape. I'm sure it does. But these are still really good essential brushes nonetheless, and I have been enjoying them. So looking for a good one, this is great. This next brush, the E30, is a pencil brush. This brush is very similar to the MAC 219, however it's more tapered and more slender. This is good for smudging out eyeshadows on the lower lash line. It's good for blending straight in the crease, cutting the crease, doing an outer V or an outer C shape, depending on how sultry or how soft you want that kind of outer corner color to be. I really like this brush. It's actually like very slimline, very perfect for that, and very sturdy. You can see sturdy. It's very tapered, stiff, well made. Ferrule is well attached to the handle of the brush. All right, so the next brush is the small angled brush, and this is the E65. No doubt one of the smallest angled brushes I've ever owned. This is such a baby. It's very similar to the MAC 266, maybe even smaller than that. Reminds me actually of a eyebrow brush I have from Delium Tools, which is also very slim. You could also use this for OCC lip tars, and once again the cream products won't break down the brush because it's synthetic. The next brush is the Eyeliner E05. This is like nothing I owned from any other brush line. I don't typically buy this particular shape of brush. A lot of people have been saying that they've been enjoying this for gel or cake eyeliner. I could see this more as a lip brush, but you can use them for however you like. I don't typically travel with lip tars or bright lipsticks. I'll put them on and then I'll just hope it stains my lips and I'll travel with a gloss. But for at-home practice, I'll still put I'll still take this before dipping into the tube with a really bright lipstick just for ease control. So I do like this brush. I'll probably be using it for lips. So yeah, that is the E05. So that is the kit. The one thing that I would say I would have loved to have seen in this brush kit would be a sample of the Sigma E25 turned into a Mrs. Bunny brush. The Sigma E25 is very similar to the MAC 217. It's that stiff dome flat shader blender brush. It's so multi-purposeful, so perfect. Every artist has like a million in their kit. I would have liked to have seen this turned into a Mrs. Bunny brush, but maybe in the future, the Sigmax line or whatever will introduce it as a synthetic brush. I forgot to mention in the beginning that these brushes were not sent by the company. I did obtain these as a birthday present from a family member, in case you're wondering. So I know that this set is a bit of an investment, but I think brushes are something you need to invest in to get better looks, perfect looks. I think that brushes are essential. I love makeup brushes personally, when you're getting your kit started as far as vegan brushes go, I would recommend the e.l.f. Studio or Mineral line because those are vegan, not the e.l.f. Essential line. Those are not vegan. The Delium Tools are also great. And then those are a little more expensive though than Eco Tools or the e.l.f. Studio line. These are definitely the most expensive. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best. I like both the Sigma and the Delium Tools brushes very, very much. There's a lot of shapes that were available in this Sigma Essential Bunny Line kit that weren't available at Delium Tools, which is why I wanted to try this out. And I really like the hairs and everything in these brushes. I think they're fantastic and I really recommend them. So hopefully you can get your hands on the travel kit or the essential kit, depending on what you want to spend on brushes. So I hope that you enjoyed my review of these, and yeah, thanks for watching.